About a year after I became a Christian, I spent some time in Spain, and the church that I was at over there told us that they were going to do some evangelism training. But what I didn't realize was that we were going to go out on the streets after we'd had the training. They went out on the streets, and I was just there observing, really. And I saw the impact that that had, and I gave out a few leaflets. And the Lord just sort of stirred something in me to realize that this is a great way to reach people. So that was the first time that I'd ever went out on the streets. From that first experience, I came back to the UK, and I started going out on the streets with someone who I met, and I started to give out leaflets and preach. And I think the biggest challenges were, I think it's frustration sometimes when you don't see people responding. It's the need to persevere. It's like the Lord says to Ezekiel, whether they listen or not, just to preach. This is a message I've given to you. To persevere is it's the challenge. Also, just to preach the gospel in season, out of season. There's times when you feel like going out on the streets, and there's times when you don't feel like doing it, but the Lord says to do it anyway. You've got a responsibility to tell people. I guess the biggest highlight has been seeing people who I've met on the streets come to church, then get baptized, and then go on with the Lord. So in the past year, there's a guy who I met last summer who really, when I met him, he said that he was just asking for a sign from God. I met him on the streets, took him to church on the Sunday. He carried on going. He was baptized, and now he's telling his friends about the Lord and bringing them to church as well. So that's really encouraging. There've been a couple of other people in similar cases. Those are the biggest encouragements, but there's a lot of encouragements that you don't see as well, where you're just getting the word into people's hearts and into their lives, and praying that the Lord uses it. You don't need to be especially special, if that's a correct phrase. You know, Paul was aware of his weakness. He came at times with fear and much trembling. Times when I go out that I feel incapable. Many times I feel incapable. Sometimes people look at you and they think you've got a special gift for speaking in public, but it starts with your heart, really. Having the heart in the right place, having a burden for people, having a burden for souls. If you've got that, then that's 50%, you're 50% of the way there. Going out on the streets, it's not easy on your own. If you can find a group locally to connect with, whether that's through your local church, whether that's through outreach organizations, Open Air Mission, who I work for, there's Open Air Campaigners, there's other groups that go out and share the gospel on the streets, and they'll help you to develop as you do that. Most important thing is just to keep your eyes on Him, stay humble, and persevere in sharing the gospel.